Peace YouTube, Eddie Gerard from Success Definers. Personally, I'm a reader. I know a lot of us are not necessarily big readers. There's a lot of things going on that prevents us from reading. I spend a lot of time reading, and so a lot of us just, we want to ride and go about our day. So what I want to do is start these little audio clips, reading some of the books that I've read in my time. And so the first book I want to read is Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice by Dr. Dennis Kimbro and Napolean Hill. And I'm just going to read these one page at a time, just little snippets. And hopefully you can just ride and do what you got to do. Start your day. Let this play in the background. So hopefully this helps. Introduction. The noblest charity is to prevent a man from accepting charity, and the best alms is to show and enable a man to dispense with alms. Talmudic philosopher. Black Americans who seek a way to abandon a mediocre life, a start on the grand highway to success. Here is your roadmap. This map is not new. It was developed just after the Civil War in the form of a lecture entitled Acres of Diamonds by a lawyer and a newspaper editor named Russell H. Conwell. In 1881, Dr. Conwell also became a minister, and it was in this role that he developed his talk, which he delivered some 8,000 times to audience across the country. These appearances earned him nearly $8 million in lecture fees, which he used to found Temple University in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to serve poor but deserving young men. Acres of Diamonds was the true story of a poor farmer who settled in Africa and spent years struggling to raise his crops. His land was rocky and difficult to till. Disenfranchised with his circumstances, the farmer became increasingly fascinated by tales of easy wealth, gained by men who had searched for and discovered diamonds in the countryside. He too wanted to be rich. He grew tired of the endless labor and impulsively sold his farm to search for diamonds. For the rest of his life, he wandered the vast African continent searching for the gleaming gems. But the great discovery always eluded him. Finally, in a fit of despondency, broken financially, spiritually, and emotionally, he threw himself into a river and drowned. Meanwhile, the man who had bought his farm found a rather large and unusual stone in a stream that cut through his property. It turned out to be a diamond of enormous value. Stunned by his newfound wealth, the farmer discovered that his land was virtually covered with such stones. It was to become one of the world's richest diamond mines. Now, the first farmer had unknowingly owned acres of diamonds. He sold the property for practically nothing in order to look for riches elsewhere. If only he had taken time to study and realize what diamonds look like in their rough state, and had first thoroughly explored the land he had owned, he would have found the riches he sought on the very land he had been living. What so profoundly affected Dr. Conwell and subsequently thousands of others who heard this lecture was the fact that each of us at any given moment is standing in the middle of his or her own acres of diamonds. If only we acquire the wisdom and patience to intelligently and effectively examine our circumstances and to explore the work in which we are now engaged, we usually will find that it contains the riches we seek, whether they be material, spiritual, or both. Before we go running off to what we think are greener pastures, let's make sure that our own is not just as green, or perhaps even greener. Oftentimes, while we're looking at other pastures, other people are busy looking at ours. There's nothing more pitiful than the person who wastes his or her life wandering from one thing to another, like the improvident seeker of diamonds, forever looking for the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and never staying with one thing long enough to find it. For no matter what your goal may be, or whatever form your riches may take, you can be sure that your start on the road to its attainment can be found somewhere within your present surroundings. Peace.